Good morning, I'm Randy, and I'm the Cheap Audio Man. Here at the Cheap Audio Man, we don't feel like audio equipment should cost as much as a brand new motorcycle. It doesn't matter if it's a sport bike or a cruiser. They have internal combustion engines, an electrical system, wheels, tires, bearings, a whole bunch of parts. We don't feel like speakers and amplifiers should cost as much as a motorcycle, a brand new one. These don't. SVS Prime bookshelves. Super excited about this one. SVS, long time. Always wanted SVS stuff. Now I haven't. So grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and let's talk about the SVS Prime bookshelves. Ooh, SVS Primes. They're big. This is not a small speaker. 6.5-inch polywoofer, 1-inch aluminum dome, I think. Yeah, aluminum dome tweeter. Goes low. 48 hertz up to 25,000 hertz. Okay? But before we get into this, again, all this production value doesn't happen in a vacuum. We're stepping it up a notch, but we do have a sponsor today. It's Harry's glass, stainless steel, and granite countertop cleaner. Yeah. With extra ammonia, extra organic ammonia that's antibiotic free. It works really well. You can really tell a difference that the ammonia doesn't have any antibiotics and is organic. Oh yeah. Hey, I forgot to tell you the price, and I also wanted to take this opportunity to show you that fancy camera stuff in YouTube videos isn't nearly as hard as everybody makes it out to be. This speaker is rated down to 48 up to 25,000 hertz, has a sensitivity rating of 87 dB, and is 8 ohms, $4.99. Okay, let's talk about imaging and soundstage. First, you might notice that there's no waveguide, okay? Is that a problem? Absolutely not. Because the way you can design a speaker with the front baffle is by removing some of the hard edges, or it's still a hard edge, it's a little bit round up here, by kind of stepping that back, giving it an angle, making the front baffle skinnier. Basically, you're making a waveguide out of the front baffle. And it works, in this case, very, very well. Center imaging was awesome. Working off my phone today because I ran out of paper on my notebook. And I need to go get another notebook. Okay. Center image, absolutely locked. And I didn't really have to like toe these in all over the place to get it to lock on. I just kind of put them up. Every position that I had them in, it locked on. In near field listening, I had these 16 inches from the wall. They're rear ported. Speaking of everything about that, I have some new D-roll, and I want to show the YouTube world and people like you, the kind and generous viewers, that it's not very hard to do. So please enjoy these close-up D-roll videos of the speaker. All right, getting back to the center image, I got a new table too. The other one I had, so first table, too shaky. Second table, super stable, but super huge. And I couldn't do anything with it in the office because it took up all of the office. I got a new one. So, smaller, but yet more stable, I hope. It still rocks a bit. Center image, the chain, Fleetwood Mac, the initial bass drum right in the middle. Again, I didn't have to talk these into making a good center image. They just did. Really kind of, well, I mean, you have to have them towed in a bit. And then if you cross the streams, then it gets really good. Soundstage, wherever I may roam, way right. Okay? Killing Strangers, excellent. Almost wrapped around fully. Okay? The only one I've heard better is on Concentric Drivers. Something in the Way, Nirvana, Unplugged. Deep soundstage. Okay? Drive In, Drive Out, Dave Matthews. Deep soundstage. Again. Okay? Hello by Adele. Vertical imaging and soundstage. Her voice came in well above the speakers. Okay? I almost grabbed the glass cleaner. Let's talk about bass. Bass on these was really surprising. Now, it's okay, so it wasn't surprising. I think the surprising part for me, because SVS is a subwoofer company, or is known for their subwoofers. Okay, they're obviously an audio company, and a darn good one. However, when I got this speaker, I didn't expect to be like a super smooth roll-off. Okay, I thought these are going to be good, but I didn't expect them to be like a full-on, here is a legitimate 2-channel speaker. Like this isn't just part of a home theater setup. This is a legit 2-channel speaker. The reason I say that is because the bass roll-off on these is very smooth, very linear. How I know that is Beastie Boys, Intergalactic. If you ever want to test the roll-off, the bass roll-off of your speakers, put that song on with a subwoofer, turn the subwoofer off, take all high-pass filters off of your front channels, and then listen to the song again. And if the speaker gives the impression of how deep that song goes, that means it's got smooth roll-off, okay? This speaker is rated down to 48, which is awesome. Awesome for a bookshelf. But though the deep notes on that Beastie Boys song goes well into the low 30s. Here's the thing. Speakers are still going to maybe get down to that point. It's just going to be a much lower, it's going to have like negative 6 dB or negative 12 dB when they get to that frequency. A really smooth roll-off, you're going to still hear those, and it's just going to be not as powerful, not as loud as when you have a subwoofer hooked up. Point being, these had one of the best bass roll-offs that I've heard out of a speaker, out of a bookshelf speaker, and really out of probably any speaker. Okay? Sorry. Really got excited about that. Africa, again, great extension. Fitch Thick on So What. Obviously, I wrote that down, but the bass on So What was realistic, or as some people call tonally accurate. The bass is tonally accurate, which generally, a lot of times on like a paper cone woofers do really well with the tonal aspect of bass. Guess what? So do these. Alright? Another Way to Die. Jack White off of the 007. I don't know which movie it is. Anyway, there was punch, okay? So a lot of times when you get a lot of punch in the bass, you sacrifice that smooth roll-off. And here's the takeaway with these speakers. You're still getting punch, strong punch. We're not going to use the longshoreman analogy. You're getting punched like a I can't say that. You're getting punched by a 40-year-old angry man that you cut off in traffic. Okay? He had a bad day. You cut him off in traffic. Come to a stoplight. He gets out and then he gives you one. Right in the kisser. That's how well these punch. Okay? You get punch and you get smooth roll off. You can't ask for much more. Okay? Oh, by the way, I'm on, if you want to support the channel, you can with patreon.com/cheapaudioman. And guess what? Today we're going to do some exclusive patron content at the end of the video. Yeah. So we're going to chit-chat about more thoughts about the speaker. Let's talk about mid-range. Okay, mid-range on these speakers. Excellent. Excellent. More human than human. Initially, this is a great song for all sorts of things. Great song for imaging, but it's also a great song to hear. There's electronic noises at the beginning, and those are great for imaging, but they're also good just for like mid-range weight. Okay, this is the first speaker that while I was listening to that, I was like, ooh, this has got a little weight to it. Okay, and that carries over to male vocals. They have some weight and some fullness to them. Okay, female vocals are also done very well. Alanis Morissette, off of the MTV Unplugged, she does a cover of King of Pain by the Police. Her voice on that can be somewhat sibilant on specific speakers and specific electronics. It was not. Speaking of electronics, I used the iFi Zen DAC going into the Emotiva TA100 as a preamp going into the Emotiva A300. Okay, and those are like my reference amps. Okay, the iFi Zen, I just kind of added that today. I'm taking a look at that one too. I generally don't change the electronics unless I hear a lack of clarity. And in that case, I will add in either the Anthem integrated 225 or something else. Anyway, no lack of clarity. The shoot to thrill test, AC/DC, initial guitar coming out of the right channel. Very crisp and weighty at the same time. And you get the metallic crunch when that comes in. Yeah. The mid-range is really good. Let's talk about treble. All right, aluminum dome tweeters. Metal tweeters in general, some would say can be harsh and bright. Okay? But if a company does it well, they can be phenomenal. And that is the case with the SVS primes. The treble on here has all of the clarity of a titanium dome, aluminum dome, metal dome, while not being fatiguing or shouty or bumped in a bad way. Okay? So, treble on these is fantastic. Cymbal decay is fantastic. Cymbal decay on Africa. Cymbal decay on So What, Miles Davis, A Kind of Blue album. The rim hits with Steve Woodward, Hired Love. Everything is there. And it's not just there, it sounds realistic. Okay? Realism for me is really important because that's when I can start to just sit back and let the speakers disappear. And these have the ability to do that with proper placement, proper toe-in, proper distance from the wall. The treble's really good here, okay? I am a nut about clarity and a nut about realistic sounding instruments. And you get it here. Ooh, yeah. Dumb, Nirvana, MTV Unplugged. The air. You can hear the air, the room in the recording. There will be Time, Mumford & Sons. Again, you can hear the stuff being moved around. You can hear the room. Superb. Superb. So what are my final thoughts? So overall impressions on this speaker, okay? And I'm not just gonna talk. I'm gonna tell you about a song and what it did. Okay, Pet by A Perfect Circle. The beginning of that song, there's a heavy bass drum, snare, and then cymbal. If you haven't heard that song, I highly recommend you listen to it. Turn it way up. Okay. That song, I had it on random on my test tracks, and if you want to try Amazon Music HD for free, click on the link in the description, scroll down to the bottom, and click Try HD. All right, that song, so I had the test tracks, and then I was doing something else, and I just had it on random, and that song came in, and I was just like, boom, whoa. All right, it shook me out of what I was doing. And that's one of the litmus tests I use for a speaker is I'll do the thing where I'll listen to my songs, listen for the specific things, and then I'll let them run and do something else. And when a speaker shakes me out of whatever I'm doing, that's a very good sign. Okay? Scentless Apprentice. Nirvana after In Utero record. Okay? First of all, this is just a great song. Secondly, there is a lot of reverb. The guitar on that song is visceral if you're listening to it through a great system. This speaker, when I heard his voice and that guitar, and you could hear and feel the angst in his voice, all right, and Kurt Cobain's voice. That song through these speakers was an emotional, like it elicited emotion from me when I heard it through these. And I love that song, right? So I've listened to it through a lot of stuff. But this time I was like, ooh, wow. Okay. So, I've got other stuff on here. The bottom line is Sad But True, Metallica, the Black Album. The bottom line is this speaker is punchy while not sacrificing mids and having highs that aren't fatiguing, and yet maintains all the clarity. Okay? I would call this neutral, or maybe a slight bump on the bottom and bump on the top, but I don't think there is a bump on the top. I just think this gives you what the music is. All right? Great speaker. Great speaker. So if you're new here and you like what we're doing, please subscribe. We got a lot of other videos. All right? Again, we have a Patreon account, patreon.com/cheapaudioman. We do Zoom meetings every Sunday night with just the patrons. We get to know each other. We have on a Twitter, okay, at Cheap Audio Man. Special content just for the patrons. And what else are we on? Oh, Facebook. Yeah, we have a Facebook group and a Facebook page. Yeah, you can go in there, trust all the people. You can sell your stuff to other people in there. Build a little community. All right? So I appreciate y'all watching. We just went over 12,000 subscribers, which is really awesome. So don't binge watch anything. Binge listen and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.